Usually we just do gaming and random chit chat, but today we're going to take a more serious note and talk about some of the matters that are affecting many of us in the real world and more or less share our opinions on it. Today I've got Arid Monster and Trippy Boss 123 joining us. They're going to be sharing their opinions as well, and hopefully they'll become regulars on the channel. As well as I've been talking to the YouTuber Ollie A. He's supposed to be joining us here before too long for some of the real talk, but we'll probably be doing casual matches for that. We hope you guys enjoy. We've already had a few conversations, and more or less just kind of joining in at the last minute. This is a last minute decision, so if you don't get some of the things, or some of the things that are said, place it in the comments, and we'll try to remind you as to what was going on, or what was said, or what is relating to that. Hope you enjoy. But back to the topic of gun control, simply because I feel like I could talk about that all day, and as well as having someone from an area as far away as one of you and as close as the other, it would be more of like a united opinion kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But as previously stated, I do think there should be mental screenings. But as far as like banning firearms, that shouldn't be something that can be done, because many of us use those to protect ourselves, and there's a select few that use them for violent crimes. But
Well,
what do you guys think? If you were to carry a handgun on you every day, how would you feel? Like, would you just describe what you think people would look at you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I don't know. I don't think even if I was allowed to carry guns,
Resort approach confirmed.
that I would.
Find those weak points and set the charges.
Just me personally.
Be prepared
but
for heavy
I
resistance.
don't know. I guess I understand that it's definitely a big safety thing because someone runs up on you, you got some crazy crackhead or something trying to beat the shit out of you, get your money, whatever's going on. Someone's tripping over on something. I mean, like you gotta protect yourself at the same time, but you gotta know what you're doing and how to use it. And the main problem with the whole gun thing is that they're just kind of it's the people don't know what they're doing or what they're using. And I don't think they take it as seriously as it should be taken. Like when you're holding a gun, it's not a toy. It's a real thing. It's like driving a car, right? Like you don't just do drifts around corners, like because you could kill somebody.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people, I'm assuming they don't think about it. Whenever they do it, they're more or less just trying to fit in with their gang or group of people they're trying to impress.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you're not really going to be able to defend yourself against a small wielded knife. Because a gun's got more range than a knife, so if someone were to pull a gun on you, and they approached you, then yeah, you'd have a good chance of that knife as far as defending yourself, or with whatever weapon you put your hands on, defending yourself for that matter. But when it comes down to it, if they've got more than a few feet in between you and them, that gun versus your knife or whatever weapon you have, it's not going to be a good outcome in your favor.
It's a lot easier too. I mean, like I think a lot of the shit that's going on, it's pretty easy, just to pull the trigger. I mean, like, well, it's not all that easy, but you know what I'm saying. Like when you got something so powerful that literally just takes the squeeze of the finger. I mean, like that right there. I think it's just education. I think kids and adults need to be more educated on guns in general, like how to use them. Like you were talking about earlier, you know a lot more about guns than I do.
Which, like you said, there is an education aspect to it, but I think if people knew the type of damage that some firearms use, or some firearms do, then they'd probably use them like I do when I conceal or open carry as a defensive measure, as to less of a attack measure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Target sighted.
I know what you're
Ready
saying.
explosives.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a last resort thing. Because you don't, you know, like you know how much
All
damage
right,
you can
let's
really
go.
do, so you don't want to inflict that amount of damage on someone unless you absolutely have
Yeah. Which I can go ahead and tell you this because I've kind of witnessed it in a way with a buddy of mine. When it comes to the state law of important than the guy trying to rob you for the $20 you got in your pocket or whatever.
to. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the real kicker in Canada too. Is someone can break into your house
I'm back in the fight.
and with the intentions of
Ammo's
stealing,
full.
killing, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they could stub their toe, or you could hit them with a chair or something in self-defense, and they can still sue you. Even though they broke into your home, they had a gun, doesn't matter. It's really stupid here. Like, you literally can't hurt anybody under any circumstance, otherwise they can sue you, and they'll win too.
And see, that's stupid because if they're going to break into your house with the intent, if they know you're home and they break into your house, then they've more than likely got the intent to kill you or to harm you in some physical manner. But you're not allowed to defend yourself, which makes you basically a sitting duck. You're just an open target waiting for them to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. Whereas I know Florida state law is
Hold up.
if they're on your property, but the state where I live, their state law is if they're in your house. They can be on your property as much as they want, but if they're in your house and they're threatening to harm you, then you can do something about it. But you can't do anything about it while they're on your property, unless it's obvious that they have a weapon or they're there with the intent to physically harm you. Which, in my opinion, sorry, what?
I said that makes a lot more sense to me than what it does. But sorry,
Yeah, it makes more sense, but at the same time, that is kind of stupid. Because what if they're concealing the weapon so they can get closer to you?
That's
If they're
true,
on your property and they're not supposed to be there, I feel like you should not kill them, but kind of like shoot at them or in their general direction without hitting them. Which is the reason for the gun range, to make sure your shots hit where they're supposed to hit.
Is it like a warning shot?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense too, because I mean, like once they're already in your house, they're in your house. That's it. I mean, like, but at least if you can defend yourself while they're in your property, you can keep them from getting in your house to start with. Stop the problem before it even progresses to the point where they're in your house.
Explosives under attack.
But there needs to be like protocols set in motion as to, for example, in schools, there should be like okay, if you're in this situation, this is the ideal thing to do without harming anyone or doing yourself. Now, sometimes, depending on the attacker, there's a very good possibility you can talk your way out of the situation without either one of you getting hurt and then report to the police later. But that may not always be your luck. Yeah, like if they're coming after you because they think you're the person that did something wrong, then more than likely they're going to want to harm you. And I know, as far as carrying a firearm, I carry daily, every day, even if I'm just going up the road. If I go to a friend's house, if I go to Walmart, I carry. And I can still carry in many places. I open carry fairly often, but I don't have the intent to just be walking through, say, for generic reasons and copyrights, we're just going to call it Walmart, and shoot some random person because they brushed my shoulder when I walked by. And that's actually a problem in some of the larger cities, the inner cities, I should say, where people think they're being disrespected, and then first thing they do is pull a damn gun or try to beat the hell out of somebody. And it could have just been an accident. They could have just brushed it by accident, and they can either take his life away or hurt him to the point where he can't do anything for the rest of his life, crippling, anything like that.
Yeah. that's where it comes down to the real issue. It's not the guns, it's the people. I mean, like, someone with the same psyche as a school shooter could have easily grabbed a knife, grabbed a hammer, learned martial arts, and could still potentially kill someone or seriously injure them to the point of being crippled their entire life. I mean, like, even if you take away guns, like, people are gonna find ways of still hurting other people. It's not really gonna make peace or anything. It's just gonna make people more defenseless against other people who are just out there just to hurt you. It's some psychiatric problem or whatever the case may be.
And like I said earlier, I feel like psych evaluations should be mandatory. And as many states have it, you shouldn't be able to own a gun if you're a convict. But if you can prove that you don't have a malicious intent for the firearm or for whatever weapon you're trying to purchase, then I feel like you should be able to carry it. Because it's been proven time and time again over the course of many years, assault with a deadly weapon as far as a knife or a bat, well, not necessarily bat, but as far as knives go, there's a higher rate of attacks with knives than there are with guns. And if you take guns away, that's not going to stop people from obtaining guns. There's still going to be the black market, there's going to be illegal trades and things like that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And in those situations, only the crooks will have guns. Hey guys, find that. And if that's the case, then you're going to have really no way of defending yourself against people that are indeed trying to physically hurt you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the gun that Ash is holding right now, like I told you guys earlier, I'm a gun fanatic. I'm not crazy like most people, like some people. But I collect them. I work on them. It's a hobby. I wield them judiciously. And I practice with them regularly. But the gun that Ash is holding right now, it's a 1911. Many people know that if they play this game. I actually own this type of handgun. 45 caliber, and I love it. But I've never pulled it on anybody. I've never used it outside of practice or carrying to keep me myself. And as I stated earlier, the innocent people around me, family members, anyone close to me alive. If someone were to pull a gun on one of them, then yes, I would use it. But I would go for like the legs or the arm. If they kept coming after that, then yes, if I had to, I'd put them down. Does that mean I want to? No. Because a human life, it can't be replaced or taken. It just can't. And because of that, there should be no need to take it unless you absolutely need to. Now, I know for Arid, I think you're the one. Are you the one that's way up north in the other country?
No.
No? Okay, so it must be Trippy. Are you the one that's way up north in the other country?
Yeah.
Okay. You stated earlier that it was harder for you guys to obtain firearms there, correct? Or something of that sort?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you, or how do you think you'd react if your country were to let you open or conceal carry in a law-abiding way? Like, would you combat that, or would you support it?
I'd support it. I mean, like, I don't really care, man. I mean, like, let people do what they want to do. Like I said,
that'll keep me going.
I don't see any problem with carrying a gun as long as you're not shooting people. But it's not like people are like, oh, I can carry a gun now, I'm gonna go shoot up my school. It's like, that's not how it works. If they want to shoot up their school, they're gonna shoot up their school. If someone wants to rob a bank, they're gonna rob a bank. Like, obviously, yeah. Bank robberies and school shootings aren't really a new thing. And, like, even in Canada, they happen. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a whole, like, stupid battle. Like, I don't even know why there's two sides to the argument. Like, I really don't understand it. I can understand, I respect other people's opinion, but I just don't understand why it's such a big issue.
Well, I don't know how it is in Canada, but here in the U.S., school shootings are an issue, obviously. That's kind of all over the world right now on the news. But
yeah.
On top of that, you've got these people that get offended by literally everything. They'll see a gun that makes them uncomfortable. And I don't want to be that guy, but back in 1941, 1942, 18-year-olds were jumping out of planes to almost certain death to fight in World War II for these freedoms.
Yeah.
As far as nowadays, we've got 18, 19, 21-year-olds that need safe places because guns hurt their feelings.
Oh my god. I hate that term,
And which now, because area, because you're not far from my actual location, I consider you in the same area. Both of us are below the Mason-Dixon line, and because of that, I mean, you know what it's like down here. It's not exactly a walk in the park. You grow up on old-fashioned values. If you piss off mom or dad, I don't know for you, but I got my ass beat. Not
yeah, no, I've
beat.
been beaten. But I'm not originally from down here.
Oh.
I'm from like
Shit, I
up
wasn't
north.
making assumptions.
It's fine. But I can see the difference between being down here and being up north. 'Cause, shit. I did go back up there for like 6 months, and oh my god.
Now,
Like
I don't
night
want to. I don't want to say that living up north is bad for anyone that might watch this in the future, or maybe just genuinely watching it now. But being from the north is not a bad thing. I have many friends from up north, Utah, Ohio. You guys are awesome. Some of you are assholes. I will admit that. But it's a lot different. If you ever come down to the actual, what's considered the actual South, you see it's very different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we've still got road rage, we've still got people that get disgruntled fairly often, but we have violence, but we don't have a lot of violence, and it's usually nothing immortal, like nothing that ends something. Like, yeah, the thing that happened in Florida, that's tragic. That should not happen. But at the same time, for everyone that's against Trump, me personally, I have no standpoint. I feel like the country's rule would be better without an actual leader. I'm not saying assassinate Trump, no. But I am saying we don't always need to be told what to do. We have a brain. We have thought processes. We can make decisions on our own. And taking a life is not something that should be taken lightly. As I said, that should be a last resort, and that's only if your life is threatened. Now, I've seen the father from Florida who went to the Capitol and was preaching about guns should be taken away. But did you ever think that if the teachers were armed and had to go to like mandatory handgun classes, that a school shooting would be a lot less likely to happen? Trained professionals can take out basically renegades or tyrants by themselves if they know what they're doing. School shootings 9 times out of 10 are stopped by the school shooter being killed or mortally wounded or even winged. So really the only way to combat school shootings and combat gun violence is with guns.
Better off we'll be.
I mean, do you guys agree, or am I going a bit out of the way here?
Where was it? Texas? That church shooting or whatever it was?
Texas?
Some neighbor came out with his hunting rifle or something like that and shot the shooter.
Jaeger, respond,
I mean, if we took away all the guns, like how would anyone have been able to defend themselves?
Right.
In a
Now,
situation like that.
in situations like that, I'm not saying that a concealed carry individual would have changed the outcome, but there's a possibility that it would have been.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of it being different. If someone pulls a gun and they shoot someone, they could kill them. Let's just assume they kill them. That's one person dead. And there's a concealed carry individual, or even an open carry individual, whose firearm was looked over. Then he pulls his gun and he puts that assailant out of commission. He wings him and takes his weapon, or he winds up killing the man or woman. That's only 2 individuals dead. Whereas a gunman running up into a school, that's multiple dead. 14, 15, 16 dead, and God knows how many wounded.
Yeah.
We've got a lock on Jaeger's location.
So
The
I'm not
area is
saying
full
that
of
my
enemies.
outlook
Get
on
over there
these
and extract
situations
them
is the
ASAP.
exact outlook that everyone should have. I'm not saying it's the best outlook, but what I'm saying is,
I don't know.
like I told these
Heads
guys
up,
earlier,
roach is incoming.
other
Clear the
countries
area.
they have gun laws, yes. Some countries don't, and they are open carry fully automatic rifles in the streets. They carry handguns all the time, and because of that, their crime rate's lower. You're not going to rob a guy if you know there's a higher possibility of him being armed. You're not going to run into a school knowing that literally every teacher there could have a firearm and could very well end your life while you're trying to end other people's, thinking you're going to get away with it. And a lot of people are against that. I understand why. They feel like it's going to create more violence. I feel like it would be a solution. Because like I said, if I'm trying to rob Arid over here and I know he's armed, I'm not going to mess with him for fear of my own life. And psych evaluations would also cut that down. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're a nation that's literally falling apart at the seams as far as the U.S. goes. None of us are standing together. None of us are fighting side by side. None of us are trying to do what's right. We're more worried about our feelings being hurt than correcting the real issue. And no, the issue is not firearms all the time. A lot of times it's just the individuals involved.
I definitely agree with
Eric,
you there.
what do you think? I mean, you live in the same country as me. You have the same controversy. You see the same things on the news. What do you think of the whole situation?
All patched up.
I mean, yeah, we should stop worrying about people's feelings and like deal with this
That'll make sense.
because this is getting out of hand. It's been 2 months. What month is it? I don't even know what it is. March? Yeah. Like 2 or 3 months, and there's been how many shootings here? Like 18, 19, something like that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. The year just started.
Reloading.
Well, see, hang on. Don't kill this. Don't kill the smasher. I want to try to make a point. Oh, well, he's dead. Good job, Arid.
My bad.
All right, just run away from this guy. Don't kill him. Just run away from him. Jesus, you guys are horrible. Maybe you guys need to have gun control. All right, don't kill him. Just run away for a minute. I want to use them as like an analogy. All right, let's say that my character that I'm playing as right now is unarmed, and this man right here has knives. Because of that, I mean, you see them coming out of his arms right here. I mean, come on, seriously. But because of that, there's nothing I can do but run. And as he brings more people in, it becomes harder to defend. Most violence, as far as knives, are usually gang violence, as far as guns as well. So whenever you have these individuals that are here to deal with ill intent to harm you, carrying a firearm, I'm not saying carrying automatic. God, no. But what I am saying is, just a handgun can save your life. I mean, yeah, video games, they take it out of proportion. Usually one shot's gonna stop an assailant. There's no need to have a rapid fire trigger finger or a sear placed into your firearms to make them shoot faster or anything like that. Usually, see, one shot will stun them. And if you put them down, you can get the firearm away from them. And usually get yourself in a better situation until the police arrive, which, in this situation, good job. But when it comes down to it, firearms, in my opinion, they are a necessity. They're how our country became free. They are part of the problem, but they can also be a solution to the problem in the correct hands. Arid, he's from up north, the poor bastard, but I like him. He's chill. Yeah, he's mowed down 3 people when I tried to make an analogy, but he's chill. And Trippy, he's cool, you know, Canadian, so he's not great, but he's not horrible.
Not great, but he's not horrible.
I'll take it.
It's an American
Could be
thing. I'll
worse.
explain it to you after the live stream. Actually, no, I'll explain it to you now. All right, the way that the U.S. sees Canada is you guys are the kind of people that are like, we're not the best, but we're not the worst. Like, you're happy with being average. Your whole country's happy with being average. So because of that, it's like they open up like a donut shop, and it's not like the greatest donuts, or it's not like the worst donuts, but they're good donuts.
Alright.
Yeah. Hey, not wrong though. You
But,
said
yeah.
something earlier though that I definitely agreed with when you were talking about how the country isn't uniting and stuff. I mean, I can't speak too much on America. I don't live there, but I mean, like,
I'll put
based on what
America
you can see and
into
stuff.
a big aspect for it. This isn't even touching the ground. This is kind of meditating here. But I'll put America into prospect for you. All right, it's like Weird Al said. Shoot first, ask questions later, and then think of like a bunch of crying children that don't realize they have the power to make a difference, and they just shoot.
And that's the problem with just North America as a whole, like Canada included. I am not excluding Canada from this. It seems like people have forgotten that we're each, like the U.S. and Canada, we're countries, and people living in them, like we are the country. Like, without us, it would just be a piece of land. I mean, we're what keeps it, like the economy afloat. We ultimately can make the decisions of what happens, but people don't seem to. People are too selfish. People are too worried about their lives and, oh, what is Susan doing today? Is she going out for coffee? Oh my gosh, is she going out with Bill now? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, people don't care more about that petty shit than they actually care about, like, who's running their country, how they're running their country, the laws. Like, it's just, it's bullshit. But then people complain when, like, Trump gets elected. It's like, well, you guys let him in. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of you who do give a shit, but the problem is the majority of people just don't care. Like, so many people don't vote, and then they wonder why all these assholes are getting voted in.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in Canada too. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about North America, but you look at other countries, and there are some other countries that are just so much more united, where the people actually like really stand up for themselves. And then there's other countries where they don't have the freedom of even doing that. Like, I think people take our freedom of speech for granted.
All right.
Netherlands,
Not even real big anymore.
Sweden, areas like that. Like I said, they were the ones that had the anyone can own a firearm and carry it openly, and nothing bad will happen to them. But as far as, let's take, and I'm not being racist because I know someone's gonna get offended and be like, oh, he's being racist, and
Oh no, we probably already offended so many people.
well, no, I'm about to say like Africa. Like I said, I'm not trying to be racist. I have two best friends that I would kill for and I would die for because they're just fucking awesome. They're African American. But take Africa for example. There's a population that's so desperately in need of financial help that the whole nation's damn near in poverty. But
oh yeah,
you've got this, for example, Somalian pirates. They're not only on the water, they're also on land. They're armed. And they go into villages, they kill whoever they want, they raid the villages, they rape, pillage innocent bystanders, all because they can. And that's because there's no one that has a firearm that can fight back. And one individual will not make a difference in a fight against 5 or 6. I mean, it could, but it's a slim chance. But if you take an entire nation and arm it, for example, Africa, if you take and arm the entire nation of Africa, everyone that is like drug lords and leaders of the larger groups that are trying to sell off people that they take from villages and shit like that, that would come to a large, or a ceasing halt, essentially. I'm sorry, my grammar's being ruined.
I'm taking heat signatures.
But
you've got trouble coming your way.
that would slow everything down in that country as far as because they're able to fight back. Now, if you take guns away from everyone here in America, yeah, it's going to go down for a little bit, but it's also going to spike tremendously because only the crooks are going to have guns. Only the gangsters will have guns. For those of you that are blissfully ignorant, in the U.S., you're allowed to own handguns. You're allowed to own long guns, shotguns, and rifles. even the dreaded assault rifle, which is nothing more than a tactical rifle that everyone keeps calling it. I even heard one person say that it fired 800, or that the AR-15 could fire 800 armor-piercing missiles per minute with a fully automatic grenade launcher on it. That's not how that shit works. Like, I don't want to bust your bubble or anything, but that's not how that works at all. Hey, Doc, you want to get him? I'll get the Apex. When it comes down to it, there are restrictions in place. But due to black market sales, then there is also the ability of people to get their hands on shit, I need help, that is illegal. So, for those of you that are blissfully ignorant, I'm going to put this on a wide spectrum, just bear with me till the end. Anyone can buy handguns. Anyone can buy long guns, as long as they're not a felon. So just don't break the fucking law. End of story. Now, some states are different. For example, I know New York, you can buy a long gun, but it has to be a 5-round maximum magazine. Or, as a lot of you know it, clip, which is incorrect. And as far as I don't know the handgun law there. Now, here, in my state, I can own handguns, I can own long guns. I don't have a magazine capacity limit, but I don't abuse it. I have an AR. I've had 3 AKs. They're fun. They're fun to shoot. They're good for target practice. They're okay for home defense if you've got a lot of land. For many of you that may or may not be military, because I'll be joining the Army here within the next month, so I'll be on a bit of a hiatus till I get back. But the 5.56 rifle, the AR, which is commonly referred to as the M16, the M4, that's the Army's weapon of choice. It's very accurate. It's more accurate than the AK, but the AK is more devastating because of the round that it is. Now, with that being said, when it comes down to it, if you just learn your firearms and learn your state laws and know what your regulations are and stay within those guidelines, you'd see that there's not a big scary issue with firearms. There's more or less a situation where basically you can defend yourself, you can defend others, you can protect others, you can be a hero without ever having to pull that gun to kill him. It just comes down to a situation of what the circumstance is. Many of us will be victims of circumstance. Some of you watching this video later in the future, maybe even in 2019, if it stays relevant that long, have had guns pulled on you, or have been around guns, or have pulled guns on others, depending on the person watching it, and depending on their mindset. And you know as well as anyone else that those guns can kill somebody. Now, whether it takes their life away and there's remorse, or it takes their life away and there isn't, that's completely up to you. But coming from someone who was raised in a military family, who, I'm not saying everything that I believe in is the right thing, but as far as anyone goes, in my opinion, every life is just as precious as another person. There's no need for me to take someone's life unless I have to. But as previously stated, if it comes down to me or them, I'm gonna pick me. And there's no need to be upset because someone's carrying a firearm openly and be terrified because you think they're going to do harm to you or somebody. 9 times out of 10, they're not. If someone's carrying a firearm, it's for their protection, or those around them. Me, I've had multiple firearms throughout the years. I've had multiple handguns. I only own 2 now. A 1911, like not the same color, but the same style as you see right here on screen, and a Springfield XDM-40. I've had a Glock. There's nothing wrong with the Glock. I had the Glock 357 SIG. I can't remember the exact model. I've had the Glock 19, which is 9mm. I've had the Glock 17, which is a larger version of the 9mm. I personally don't like them. They're amazing guns. I do. I love the mechanics of them. I love that they can function. I just don't like the way they fit in my hand. That's my only issue. And I'm not saying that Glock's bad. I enjoyed my Glock. I just didn't enjoy it enough to carry it or keep it. I like my 1911 as far as range gun, and I like my Springfield XDM as far as a carry gun. But I carry them to protect myself, to protect my family, to protect my friends, to protect anyone, even a stranger, that could be a victim of circumstance. For example, say I was pulling into Walmart or Walmart, and someone was getting robbed. I would pull my gun and hold them at gunpoint to make sure that the police arrested them once they got there. But I would not fire unless I had to. I would not take someone's life and not feel remorse.
Okay,
I'd feel horrible about it. I would.
All right, Elo's
But-
en route for extraction.
Better me than
Keep
dead.
Jaeger safe until it gets there.
And yeah, I would go ahead and say it. I just met Arid and Trippy. What? Not even an hour ago, guys.
Yeah.
But they seem like genuine people. They're not judging me because I'm pro-gun. I'm pro-gun and I'm pro-life. Yes, to most of you people that get butthurt for everything that's ever said to you, that is a thing. You can say it's not. You can argue about it all you want. I'm not going to join in your festivities as far as trying to upset the rest of the world for no reason. But I'm pro-gun and pro-life. But I also believe that guns can be used to kill. They can be used to protect. They can be used in defensive and offensive situations. And I believe that the citizens have a right to it. But I believe they also have a right to know what power they're holding in there before they take someone's life away and they realize that they can't bring them back. Now, some of these shootings have actually happened near me. One of them has happened in my hometown. Yes. And as far as these shooters, or the shooting situation I'm talking about, there was a young man who was hanging out in an alley. I already know the entire story. You can mimic it however you want, bring the NAACP in again, and try to block off the main highway that runs through my town. It's not going to go well, just like it didn't go well the first time. But he was hanging out in an alley. In my area, we have a bad gang issue. And he went to run from the police. They chased him on foot. He went into his pants, and when he did, they killed him. They shot and killed him. Now, I don't know about anyone that may or may not be watching this stream. I don't know about anyone that may report my stream for me being so vulgar and hurting your feelings. Sorry, Snowflake, but yeah, life happens. But if I was the top and someone went in their pants, I'd do the same thing, because I think they were carrying a gun. No, it's not racial profiling, because yes, the individual was black. No, it's not a hate crime. It's called self-defense. You'd be surprised which animal instinct would kick in when your back's against the wall. Even if you're someone who upholds justice, if your life comes into a factor, the outcome is going to be terrifying on someone else's end, or even on yours. And I realize I'm talking like hella lot right now, so I'm gonna let Arid and Trippy take the.
I understand you're passionate about what you're talking about. So.
Yeah, I'm just let Arid and Trippy take it for a bit before I wind up offending some more snowflakes.
Oh my god. That's something we should talk about.
As far as that goes,
Good work.
Arid, Trippy, you
Stand by
guys
for debrief.
explain how you stand on it, why you stand where you stand, how you view it, just your whole opinion on it, and from what you see on the news, how you view these situations. We'll start with
Trippy, did you
Arid.
want to go? Okay. I mean, we definitely don't need fucking automatic weapons and like drum rounds and shit like that. You know, you don't need crazy things like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we should really try to do something about what's fucking happening, because this shit is getting out of hand. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the only thing I disagreed with about what you were saying earlier, I'll just call it anarchy, um, was the like kind of fighting guns with guns. I mean, like, I understand. I think that would definitely be like, I don't know. There's not really a lot of options, but I could just see that like I could like giving teachers guns, and then now you got firefights at fucking school between students and teachers. You know, these kids walking in, trying to shoot up the school, and then you got teachers ducking behind their desk, fucking pulling out dual nines, start firing back. Like, Obviously, that's not probably what'll go down. But I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like that might just, like, it would definitely lower the amount of school shootings, but I think it would also worsen the ones that do happen. Because now not only are the kids shooting, but now you got teachers shooting, and yes, they can defend themselves, but I mean, like, then it becomes a game of like who gets shot first. I mean, like, if the teacher gets shot still by the kid before they're even able to get the gun out, I mean, like, then that didn't really solve anything. Now the kid's still going to shoot up the school. Now he's just got to deal with some teachers trying to fire back. I mean, like, I don't know. Oh shit. Oh shit. Damn it. Whatever, I'll play recruit.
I get
But
where you're coming from, and I never thought about it in that light. That's the reason why I'm glad I've got two other individuals, two other mindsets in this. But if you arm multiple teachers, you've got a better chance of stopping it before it happens. Yes, there's still going to be casualties, as with any
You'll be
situation
taking a
involving
shortcut
firearms.
through patient zero's
But
basement.
I feel like
But
having a
first,
firearm to combat it
you're gonna
is
need
better
those
than
custom
kids hiding beside the door with a desk waiting for them to walk in and beat their skull. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree.
This
I mean, like,
you
the
crack
problem
your
is there's
pants
no
yet?
real way to solve the problem without fixing the people. 'Cause, I mean, it's the people who are shooting up the schools that are the problem. I mean, like, yeah, you can give teachers ways to fight back and all this other stuff, but I mean, like, school shootings are still going to happen. There's no way to get rid of them. Same with, like, anything, any major problem in society, like robberies or racism or anything. I mean, like, it's all going to happen, but I mean, like, I don't know. Gun control is a really tough one to like fix. I don't think
Good.
it's definitely not an easy thing. There's definitely a very big gray area that needs to be worked around. It's not as much of like take them all away or give everyone RPGs. And neither one of them's going to solve anything.
Right, and I agree completely.
Neutralize all roaches.
Now, at the same time, if you had to suggest an idea for it, now keep in mind, I'm not going to point it out. I hope none of you would point it out. But every plan is going to be flawed when it comes to this, because, like you said, there's a large gray area involved in it. But if you had to pick or had to think of a solution, what do you think you would suggest?
Solution. Honestly, I think I don't know, it's the people, so I mean, like, I don't know how you can really fix people. I mean, like, I guess, like, the psychiatric tests would be good, stuff like that, but I mean, like, I don't know, it's these kids that are fucked up, and you gotta figure out, like, why these kids are fucked up, and figure out what's going on, because, I mean, like, it's not just your everyday kid that just gets up out of bed one day and just goes, I want to murder my school. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, they try blaming it on video games, they try blaming it on music, they've tried blaming it on all types of, like, media and shit. It's like, that's not the issue. I mean, like...
I kind of have an idea, and I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off when I say this, but it comes down to the kids, like you said, and personally, in some situations, not all, but some, I blame the parents. Me personally, growing up in the South, whenever we did something that mom or dad didn't like, and it was,
Got beat.
yeah, we got our ass whipped. Like, I mean, I grew up, I've been hit with belts, I've been popped once or twice, I believe, with switches, I've been popped with hands, I've been popped with paddles, but I play violent video games, I listen to very violent music, but I'm not a violent individual, unless I have to be, because that's just how I was raised. Like, mom and dad, yeah, they probably still view me as a lost cause occasionally, but, I mean, hey guys, run for help. But, at the same time, when it comes down to it, it's more or less a personal mindset situation, in my opinion. Now, if every kid knew, like, the video games, yeah, they make killing someone with fun. I mean, it's literally just, like, where'd the big guy go? Yeah, it's just like aim and shoot. Sometimes you pull the trigger. When it comes down to it in real life, there's a lot more in it than that. Because you're going to see that person. At some point, there's got to be some type of humanity. And think, for anyone out there that thinks they could do it like it's nothing, I hate to tell you, you're not that big of a badass. And if you don't have that humanity, some type of remorse for it, I kind of feel bad for you. Because the number one thing that everyone sees in an incredibly strong individual is their mercy. You have to be able to show mercy. You have to know what that is. You don't always have to, it's not always black or white. And
No enemy movement
I
on
hate
your
to say it,
position.
but we kind of neglect
Keep
that
going.
gray area.
They gotta respect a good ambush.
Although I completely agree with you. I definitely think it's parents.
What about you, Trippy? What do you think?
It's the parents. The parents are the fucking issue, man. I mean, like,
Refill, yeah.
kind of like what you said. You know, I got beat, like not excessively, but you know, just enough to show you discipline. It's to show your kids there's a consequence to every action. And I think that's what a lot of these kids are lacking. They don't recognize that there's a consequence because they've never been taught that anything they do has a consequence. They either get praised for it, or
You're
most
almost
of the
at
time the parents
patient
just
zero's
ignore it.
house.
So
Yeah.
to them, they just think, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this, and they don't think of like what's to come from it, and it's just bad parenting.
Right.
So-
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And
Yeah.
depending on the action, depends on the reaction. Now that doesn't say, now that doesn't mean if you go punch someone in the face, you're gonna get punched in the face. I mean, probably, depending on who you punch, more than likely, at least in my neck of the woods. But at the same time, you're more than likely to get there's no way around it. Now,
Yeah, no.
for some of you out there that may be in my gray area right now, that carries a firearm or that believes in self-defense and believes in protecting others as much as yourself, I would like to point out, convicts cannot own firearms, period. That's every state. Some states, misdemeanors can own firearms. My state, misdemeanors can. I have a misdemeanor, and I still have my concealed carry permit, and I still carry. I open carry, I still carry. But my misdemeanor was very minor. I had let my concealed carry permit lapse, and I got pulled over because a buddy of mine was not using blinkers. They asked if there's firearms in the car. I told them yes. They checked. They took the firearms. They ran it. The firearm was not stolen. Otherwise, I would have been hit with a felony.
Ammo's
But
full.
they gave it back. Or no, I'm sorry, they didn't give it back. They asked for my permit. If I had a concealed carry permit, I told them yes. They took it.
Find a way
and
to
it was
shut
3
off the
days back.
electricity.
So I went to jail for illegal carry of a concealed weapon, a concealed firearm, and I'm not mad about that whatsoever, simply because that was my fault. I should have let it lapse. That was my responsibility that I shirked on duty. But I'm not blaming you. I'm not going and trying to shoot up the police station because of my fault. I'm not going and trying to shoot up my school because I was picked on in school, but I never tried to shoot it up. Me personally, I'm a fighter. I just got in fist fights. I took my, what the hell's it called? Consequences. I knew what I did was wrong, but I didn't have to take anyone's
That'll
life
do
away
it.
to get my point across.
Continue your approach. Breachers!
No one should have to take someone's life away to get their point across. No
Don't
one should
leave
have to
any
lose
of
a
them
child
standing.
because other people were just being so inconsiderate to another child. There's no need in that. There's no need to kill anyone over something so meticulous. Yes, killing someone, but killing someone is worse. And if you think you can justify that, just by killing someone, then me and you need to have a serious heart-to-heart. And we need to find a middle ground here. You don't have to hurt anyone, no one has to hurt you. What the hell's I stuck on? But, yeah, I'm done preaching for the moment. Pass it back over to you.
Hostiles eliminated. You're clear to head inside.
Yeah, anarchy, kind of like you. I was beaten. Well, like abused, but it's whatever. Well, I've been playing like Doom since I was 3, and I haven't really had any.
You talking about like Doom 3 and Ultimate Doom Final?
No, I mean like Doom on the PlayStation. Doom.
Oh, I was
the
playing
first
PC
PlayStation, like Sega.
Yeah, I was playing like PlayStation or PC versions. Final Doom, Doom 2,
What was the first game I've ever played was Doom.
Yeah, I love Doom. Doom is fun.
But yeah, no, I haven't had any like violent reactions to things.
That's Patient Zero's house. Sweep the area before breaching the basement door.
And I think it comes down to what you said. It comes down to
definitely the parents.
Yeah, you have to know. It's the parents. Your parents have to discipline. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Some parents can take it too far. I get that. I understand.
I mean,
but
you should probably beat your children, but like not excessively. Like if they've been bad, they should be beaten.
Well, you don't beat your children. You discipline your children. Beating your children, disciplining them is fun. I mean, like, in my opinion, I think beating your kids is literally just hitting your kids for the sake of hitting your kids.
Yeah.
Disciplining them may include if it's necessary. I mean, like, obviously, you know, like you punish your kid by like making them do some extra chores or something. But if your kid keeps doing it and just doesn't give a shit, sometimes that's what it takes to get them to that point. Like every kid's different. Some kids, you know, grow up great kids, and you only ever had to like take away their video games or something from them. But, you know, like, most of the time, most kids, you know, all of us have been there where, you know, when I look back, I'm like, wow, I was a real prick. I deserve that. At the moment, as a kid, you're like, wow, this is fucking bullshit, what the fuck? But as you get older, you're like, you know, if I was my parent, I would have done the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Being a fucking douche.
But as far as, like, the beating kids comment, down here in the U.S., I don't know about up north, but I know, like, mid-U.S. and farther down, when we say beat, we're referring to as whipped with a belt or a switch, something like that. Like, it's not like a physical thing. Now, for some people, that is a thing, and I feel very sorry for those people. But the only ones that can
I'm
talk
not
about
saying
that
you
is,
should like beat the shit out of them, like
No.
a couple hits, you know?
No.
Yeah, you don't need to curb stomp them or anything. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like they need to lose teeth or anything like that.
I hate that I'm laughing at this, but I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I've been hit with like everything under the sun.
And did it kill you?
Shovel? No. Nope.
I mean, you seem
know
like a
what's the worst,
well-rounded individual. Maybe a little trigger-happy in video games, but well-rounded.
A little. But I can tell you right now, the worst thing to get hit with is that little plastic blinder thing.
Oh,
for
yeah.
That thing does not break.
No. Does anyone have a reinforcement
No,
disc
it
real
does
quick, by the way?
not. I have one.
Cool, I only need one.
Yeah, I can't even find them, man.
I
haven't
agree, that damn plastic liner does not break.
That shit does
That's not
break.
because I was hit with that. Like, I kind of... I played the Switch game one day.
Oh no, I was beaten with that. Let me tell you, that thing's scary.
I think the worst thing that I've been whooped with was probably a belt when I pissed Dad off. That was pretty rough. And Dad's ex-military, so you know he's kind of got the old man strength.
Stay alert.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, you got beaten. That's a real beating right there.
But I'm not going around. I'm not going around doing school shootings. I'm not going around robbing people. I'm not brandishing firearms to show people that I'm more dominant, which I'm not. I see it as my dad carries, I carry, and I'm sure he carries for the exact same reason I do, to protect himself and those around him.
Loading new magazine!
Oh shit, I thought you wouldn't think of it.
Yeah, safe.
But, yeah, when it comes down to it, if anyone needs to read you carry a firearm, do it for protection of yourself. And that doesn't mean shoot somebody off because they're telling you. That doesn't mean pull it on some old lady that cut you off in traffic. Or that doesn't mean shoot the guy that rear-ended you 3 minutes ago. No, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. But at the same time, I don't really know how to read it anymore the way I have. Reader, by the way.
I think we've pretty much worn it dry at this point. I don't think there's really much.
Okay, now let's move on to the beating children aspect.
Well, I think we should stop doing that safe space shit. That's definitely not helping. Everyone thinks you're special.
Fuck, if you need a safe space, like, just do what everyone else does and become a hardcore alcohol. There's your safe space.
That's
you fucking hand it
that's
over your
not a
mind
good
all the
way to
time,
curb
that's your
that.
safe space.
I mean, it's you know better than fucking shooting people.
Yeah, it's much
But
better
you're
than
only harming
killing people,
yourself.
but killing yourself in the process is not a very good option.
Like, obviously I'm joking, like, you shouldn't do that, but I don't get the whole safe space thing. It's like, if you really, like, I don't know, if the world is really too much for you, like, I don't know, like, end it. I don't know. Like,
Dude,
I just want to know
Jesus.
how we got to this conclusion that safe space is necessary. When did that happen?
I'm assuming around the
like,
same
just sit
time
in your
that men
room
became
for a while,
feminists
listen to some
and
music
also,
you
like,
enjoy.
physical pills and-
Right? Like, I don't get... Like, when was that announced on the news that safe space is a thing?
I think it was implemented by a college that felt students need safe place because words hurt. Like, that's
It's like,
God, words hurt.
get a diary and listen to some music in your room.
Oh, boo-hoo.
find a fucking topic.
Whatever happened to sticks and stones that break my bones, but words will never hurt me?
I'm assuming what happened was, and I hate to say it, the millennial generation.
You mean
But
the
now,
Tide
the
Pod
reason-
eating generation? 'Cause
Well, I mean, I'm a millennial. I hate to say it, but I'm a millennial. But I was raised on old fashioned, you know.
Yeah, I like how they want
when
to...
were you born? Like the 90s?
96.
Yeah, I was 95.
Ah, you're only a year older than me. My birthday is actually next week on Wednesday.
Oh, damn, don't I feel like a little baby, man.
Am I
But
the oldest person here?
how old are you? 22?
22.
Yeah.
Oh. I feel like an old man.
God.
Well, can you tell me what World War II is like?
It was dark times.
Dark times. Dark times.
How did you
We
guys
actually
survive the
sat
Black
next-
Plague?
Dude, lots of soap. It was actually pretty cool sitting in class next to Jesus. He was a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a lot shorter than what you thought. Hell, Moses still hasn't returned my my sketch pad.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, area's
Moses
clear.
is a dick. He just
That
took
tunnel
it and
will get
left,
you
and he
into
was
the
like,
heart of the
well, God told me to.
junkyard.
And I'm like,
Right,
okay,
all
that's
started.
cool.
Alright, I guess. If he did.
I mean, nothing I can do about it.
Grabbing ammo.
But as far as the whole safe space thing, it's just words hurt. Everyone gets offended, and they think that the words are the one thing that can make you end it, and that's not the situation. As far as that comes down to you and what you let hurt you. Nothing hurts you unless you want it to hurt you or let it hurt you.
Right.
As far as
Perception.
as far as vocalism goes, or vocabulary, because I don't think vocalism's a thing.
I don't know. I can't English, but I can math pretty good.
Well, see, with me being from the South, I can speak that there Southern language.
You're gonna need to use the crane to
I
clear a
can't
path to
understand
the
that
target.
spell, and I've been
Look
living
for a
down here
generator.
years.
Something
Can't
to get
fucking
it
do
going.
it.
Dang, it's bad. I hate to say it, I have some friends, at least I think they still assume that I'm their friend because I don't think anything bad is them. But they're from Louisiana. And
Oh
their
god.
dad, their
So
dad,
it's like... It's bad.
their dad, you can hear the Louisiana in him. And it's actually a pretty cool accent. Like, I like it.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
I'm
a cool
sure that
accent, but I can't understand it.
I think with the Cajuns, you can understand it. Like, they speak it pretty rough. Now, some Cajuns, they can speak fairly well. They're very well, they've got very good linguistic skills. But as far as some of them go, it is a bit rough. For example,
It's
Troy
just too
Landry. I'm
loose.
sorry, dude's cool as shit, but shoot him. Shoot him. I thought it was shoot.
Crane's moving.
Chewing somebody?
No, shoot. CHOOT.
You've got hostiles. Hold
Yeah.
position until the crane clears
It's
your
a
path.
show called
Take him
Gator
down.
Boys, I think.
Haven't seen it.
Anyways, it's a Cajun guy that lives in Louisiana, and his SH sound, or his sh is always a ch. So instead of SH, it's like CH. And he's got the gator car on the hook, and he's got the person supposed to shoot him in the head for him, and he's just like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him.
Nest ready to knock that.
I never had a problem with accents. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, you know, if you like really like pay attention to what people are doing or listening, I mean, you can always typically kind of piece together some puzzles. Like, for the most part, there's obviously times where, yeah, like, especially when you mix in like a lot of slang with a heavy accent, and then like on top of that, maybe mix in like some broken English, and then it's like, okay, now I'm done. It's like, I don't know, I can't decipher that fucking bitch, you good shit.
It's like, yeah, go back to kindergarten and then come talk.
Yeah, for the most part, people like, you know, a few slang words thrown around like here and there, and then you have like just some kind of accent. It's like, for the most part, it's not too hard. I personally have never met anyone that's a super thick Southern accent though, so I can't really speak on that.
I don't know. There's only one state lower than me, and that's a part of two states, a part of Texas and Florida. Like, I'm actually in the Bible Belt.
Sure.
That Claymore didn't do shit to that topic, by the way. I don't know if you just saw that.
Yeah, I was watching. If I knew where the damn grenade box was, I might be able to help you.
I think it's up here with me.
Oh my god, he's outside the fence, like, doing that.
Get away from the fence and run back in. But yeah,
I'll try,
as far as back on the space topic thing, I thought there was really no need in that.
Green, done. Eliminate the stragglers.
If you were just man enough to realize
That's not a solution to the problem.
yeah, like giving him a safe space, that's just like, that's
It's
basically
not gonna
telling him
stop
it's
everyone else
okay
from
to be
being an
butthurt.
asshole.
Right. It's not okay to be an asshole, but it's also not okay
People still
to,
do it. It's not a defense mechanism.
yeah.
You just die.
I'm trying to pick him up and I'm having a problem.
Oh,
Mother
shit.
of God, help.
Oh.
Pick him up first. Pick him up first.
Let me just get some health first. I
Final
don't
threat.
die.
Please pick him up. He's about to die. Like, I'm watching his health bar. He's like 2
Oh shit,
seconds.
I just got knocked down. Give me a second, give me a second. Oh fuck.
A life.
Well, since you're not having to focus on killing the things that are trying to kill you, maybe you want to add something to this.
What about safe space?
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't know, man. It's the whole thought process behind. I mean, I guess
Swapping mags. Med kit, yeah.
in a perfect world, yeah, sure. But then we still won't need it, so I don't know why we have it.
Are they like
I mean, yeah, we
legit
shouldn't bully
things
people,
they're
but, like-
implementing over there?
Loading
Or?
new magazine.
I'm talking
Wait,
about
what?
Like, are they like? Is it like? Because I
Almost
heard
stopped.
about safe spaces and stuff, but is it like a legit thing that they're actually putting into?
No,
Like,
no, they're doing it in public
systems?
schools now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, if you get offended, then you get to go into a special box that basically makes you teacher's pet because
Reloaded.
someone said the word, like,
Boy,
butt to a 5-year-old, and now you're offended.
I'm dry.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even exaggerating either.
That's just gonna make people.
Explosives
Like,
hot.
That's
It's
just
just
gonna
gonna
make the
make them-
situation
Get this over
worse
with, so
though, because
someone
then it's
can
gonna
buy me a
make them
drink.
not have to even hear the stuff or learn to deal with it. So now every little thing is gonna start pissing people off,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like offending them.
All because
Oh my
people
God.
There
aren't
it is. The epicenter
capable
of this
of
whole
just-
nightmare.
They
Secure
don't
the
have the
capsule.
defense
The
mechanisms
roaches are
to,
closing
like,
the noose on your
stand
location.
hearing things
So
they
we've
don't
got
like.
one shot at this.
They're essentially like
Shot only.
censoring
Plant 3
themselves,
explosive
like
charges
censoring
at
the world
designated anchor
around them.
points so Jaeger can exfil the package.
That's basically like saying,
If we ever get another war where like a big enough war, like a World War III or
gonna be
something, and they
overworked.
need to get drafted, Oh my god.
They're
People are
ruin
going to be changing their genders. They're going to be like, oh, I'm female now, so I can't get
Time for a quick
drafted.
top
And
up.
Oh
they're
no,
all going
that's
to be
not
like
even a thing
freaking
anymore.
out.
No, that's not even a thing anymore. Like, you can be drafted male or
You still
female
go.
here.
Oh, so they
So,
planned ahead. Nice
Go
job.
ahead and get your gender changed all you want. You're not getting out of this.
What if you identify
Still
as
going.
like a fucking 2x4 or something?
I identify as. All right, now that's another thing about my.
Oh my god.
Generation.
I identify
I'll
as
pick
a
a gender.
1969 Ford Mustang.
Fucking. All right, now don't get me wrong. I know I'm gonna offend a lot of people with this. Like, frankly, on this
Oh,
one,
yeah.
I don't care. If you can prove to me that you were born with a horn and you're a fucking unicorn, then by all means, show me the horn sticking out of your head and walk on all fours with hooves. But
So,
if you're
there's
born with
essentially
a penis, you're a
102
fucking male. If you're born with a vagina, you're a
genders
woman.
now.
You can have your
It's
gender changed.
102.
Huh?
It's 102 genders.
No. No.
That's what they say. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
saying. Really, there's 3. And maybe 4 if you decide to cut everything out. Like if you're just a Ken doll, like a Barbie doll, yeah. Sure.
But now I will
have no
agree.
gender.
There is.
Alright.
I'll say that there's 2 because male and female, but there is a third that a lot of people don't know about. And I can't remember what they're called, but they have both genitalia. People are born that way.
Yeah.
Oh, hermaphrodites?
Yes.
Or asexual or something? I don't know,
I
man.
think it's hermaphrodite.
I think it's from out.
Placing
Yeah.
explosives.
That's a third gender. I get that.
And you've got
There's
a
3
message
genders.
inbound.
There are
Over
3
your location.
I've
confirmed
never seen
genders and 2
anyone with
common
both.
genders.
That's not really so much a gender though as it is a birth defect.
Well, I mean, how would you identify it if you've got?
But
both
yeah,
genders?
that is true though. I guess
Defend the
they should be
explosive.
categorized as their own
Hostiles
separate
incoming.
genders.
Defend the
Because
See
of
what I'm
that.
saying? Like, I'm not
Yes.
trying to say that's not the case, but at the same time, I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to like exclude it. That is a thing.
The
They
first
can go
charge
one
is
way, or they
destroyed.
can go the other.
Fall back to the other two
That's
remaining
completely up to
salvage
them.
this.
I don't fucking know, man.
I understand what they're trying to do with the whole gender
Yeah,
thing. It's just stupid.
Hostiles inbound.
It's just
Defend the explosive.
yeah. It's just like
It's the
another
wrong way
label to
about-
add onto yourself.
Yeah, it's just
Really?
I think a lot of these
Fall back to the
people
last
that are
charge.
doing the gender change are essentially saying, hey, I don't fit what is categorized as a stereotypical female or a stereotypical male.
Now,
And
don't get
instead
me
of
wrong.
saying, okay, well, I'm not a stereotypical male, but that just means I'm a unique person, but I'm still a male, I'm just not like every other male. Or
Right.
like the
Now,
majority of them.
at the same
Instead,
time,
they're
don't
like,
get me
well,
wrong.
I'm my own gender now.
At the same time, don't get me wrong. If you want to have your sexual orientation changed, that's fine. Do so.
Oh yeah, no.
But I'm still going
okay
to,
with
if
all
you're
of that, but,
if
like-
you're a guy and you get a vagina put in, I'm still gonna call you bro. I'm still gonna call you dude. Don't get fucking offended because that's how I know you. If you're a woman and you get your sexual orientation changed, man, I'm still gonna call you ma'am. I'm still gonna call you miss. I mean, that's just the way I was raised. I'm gonna call a horse's ass, and I'm gonna tell them that distinct. But
Yeah, I have no problem with
All charges
transgenders or
destroyed, and you're about to get overrun.
gay people or anything like that. I mean, you do what you want to do.
yeah,
The whole thing is just, I don't know, it just makes no sense. Yeah, a lot of them, they're like, okay, well, you know, I like fashion or something, and I like wearing makeup, but I'm a dude, so that must, but I have a dick, so, okay, so I'm not male, but I'm not female, I'll just make up my own gender. And it's like, no. It's like, you're still a dude. Okay?
Right.
You're still
Just because you don't fit that rough, rugged, stereotypical male doesn't mean that you're not now a man. And it also doesn't mean that now you
doesn't
should go
change
get
your
your
gender.
gender changed and become a woman.
exactly.
Because
Now,
that
don't get me
fits
wrong.
more
or
of the
I keep
personality
saying
of a
that. But what I'm saying is, if you're in an area such as, say, New York, yeah, racism is still a thing. And yes, to the few people out there that think that black people can't be racist, they can. White people can too. But racism's still a thing, sexism's still a thing. I get that. It depends on the area. But when it comes down to it, in my opinion, you know what, Ash? But when it comes down to it, in my opinion, regardless of the situation, if you live in an area where gays, queers, faggots, homosexuals, whatever you want to be called, where they're constantly victimized or hate crime, stuff like that, and they enjoy wearing their makeup or whatever, and they get their sex changed so they can fit in with a different crowd a little bit and have less chance of being beat by people walking by, I'm okay with that. But don't, please, for the love of God, and I can't say this enough, for the love of God, don't dress up like a woman, tuck your dick between your legs, and go to a bar and pick up a guy. Like, nothing is more terrifying, I'm sure, than going out to a bar thinking you're picking up this really attractive woman and she pulls out a dick twice your size.
Please let him know.
Yeah. You have to be like even, alright, there's some of them that even talk very feminine. You can't tell it. But even if you're like, yeah, let's go back to your place, you can still be like, just know I'm a dude, bro.
$20 says this exfil is a bust.
To be real honest with both of you, I don't have a suppressor on.
That's fine. We're on normal. We're not doing epidemic right now. Just bullshit. This is one of the few missions we can actually run and be completely alright with. It's just that last one requires, the one we played last time requires a bit of focus. Hell, I'll even run my
Not
pistol.
kidding about shotguns. These things don't do shit.
But yeah, that's. And I hate to say it, but my generation's the one that fucking started all of this. Like, there was a study a little while back, and they even said that millennials believe there's 100 and some odd genders. And then I actually met one of my old friends that I hadn't seen in a while. He was like, "Oh yeah, just so you know that I'm omnisexual." I'm like, "What the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is omnisexual?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, it's one of the genders." I'm like, "No, you're a fucking dude. We had gym class together. You're a fucking dude."
What the hell is omnisexual? Isn't that like pansexual?
I don't know. I've heard fucking omnisexual, pansexual. I get that transgender thing. I'll identify that as a thing. I get that. What?
I think pan and omni are the same thing.
I have no idea.
It's like a different way of saying it.
But now, on one of my previous videos, I know I offended somebody because we were talking about this very similar topic. And I was like, well, since we can do whatever gender we want, I want to identify as a fucking unicorn.
Right? Can I do that?
And the reason why I want to do that is just so I can say I'm a fucking unicorn. I identify as a fucking unicorn. They're not mythical. They're right here. It's me.
Alright, can I self-identify as a potato? Like, where does this shit end?
Be fat and identify as a potato, so when you get slender, you can say you're French fries.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought of this, but I don't know if you guys ever had it in school, but I remember, like, I think it was, like, it had to be, like, 8th grade, 9th grade, or something like that. Where people would just be like, oh yeah, would you rather get your dick cut off or get shot in the dick and live, something along those lines, or like
get shot?
Just, well, like get shot in the dick, like lose your dick in some way, or and live without a dick, or die. And almost every single dude was just like, oh, I'd just rather die, man. Nowadays, kids are just cutting them off left, right, and center like it's their fucking tonsils, man.
First aid applied.
Like it's their fucking tonsils.
And the sad part is, he's so accurate on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Tachanka, set your turn up right here. Just kind of aim down the hallway.
Tachanka.
Ladies and gentlemen, the god has landed. And we'll just kind of keep him off of your first ring right here. But yeah, it's stupid, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't fit in with your sexual orientation, then that's fine. Be you. I can't hit the button. Why can't I hit the button?
Because I'm in the way. Oh, wait, I just had it. I just had it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to troll somebody, beat Tachanka. Alright, Doc, come on. Well, no, you sitting there with him. I got it.
I've got roaches converging on your position.
But if you want to change your gender, that's fine. That's you. That's your gender. That's all you. Just don't expect people to accept that. That's just a thing. That's like saying that one of us on the channel just recently came into $1 million some stupid fucking easy way, and then you're all pissed, and everyone's pissed about that because they didn't get it. We can't help that we came into it. None of us could. We haven't, for future reference, but if anyone wants to throw it our way, I'm sure I'm here to do it.
Oh, dude, I would love money. Please.
Maybe him and Trippy could split it.
No, screw that. I'm taking all of
Whoever said that money doesn't buy happiness is a fucking liar.
That's
Never
right,
seen a
kids.
sad
Some
person
poor
drive a
people
Ferrari.
say, man.
That's right, kids. Don't
I've
listen
never
to.
seen a sad person drive a Ferrari.
That's true. Don't listen to your teachers. Money does buy happiness, and occasionally it buys you love. There's a lucrative business involved.
Oh, no, it definitely does.
At least an hour of love.
We're
Depending
going
on how
to
much
jail
money you
after
have.
this,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have so much a problem with people changing their genders as much as I have a problem with their reasonings behind it.
Smoke is down. Head for
Like,
the serology lab.
it just seems like they're trying to rebel against like society's stereotypical genders or whatever. Like, but by changing your gender or making up a gender, you're effectively actually conforming to those stereotypes even more.
Yeah.
Because now instead of rebelling against it and just embracing the fact that you're a male who doesn't fit those stereotypes or a female that doesn't fit them, now you're
Exactly.
just making up your own gender and
Now,
in turn.
There's
pass
been
back
a lot
into
of
it.
people. Hang on before you guys open that door, by the way.
Like
'cause
they
I'm-
know more
I
about
can
how
set my
security
control down,
works
so
in
just
this
give me a
place
minute.
than we do.
But
All the more reason
there
to
are
get
a lot
Dr.
of people out
McIntosh
there
as soon as possible.
that are very unique in their own way.
I'm out!
They just are. And it's
Now
not
we are well
because
prepared.
of gender specifications. It's not because they're wanting to have their gender changed. They're special because they're not wanting to do it. They're not going with the phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the expression, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you jump off the bridge? I'd jump off of it just to get away from fucking taxes and adulthood, but guess what?
Has everyone ever thought, like, what if he survived?
Yeah.
That's usually my answer. Like, if he survives, yeah, I'll jump.
Be like, yeah, let's just wait and see, and then we'll go
Right.
from there.
Not so much for being so.
But
I don't have a suppressor. I told you this.
Oh yeah,
And-
shit.
we've been working as a team well enough to know we're fine. But when it comes down to it, long story short, there's no need to victimize or criminal or shun anyone by wanting to change their genders or doing something a bit different from you. There's no need to get ass hurt whenever someone is open carrying a firearm or whenever someone's not doing what you find appropriate. Everyone's raised different. I can't tell you how many times, alright, like I previously said in the video, I open carry. And I can't tell you guys how many times I've walked into Walmart and someone's like, why do you have a gun? Or are you here to rob me? Or this, that, or the other. And the fucking answer is no. Matter of fact, and I wish Tyler was here right now, I'd have him put his input in on this because he was standing right next to me in the gas station when it happened. There's a gas station down the road from his house.
The
He's
dock
a
should be
good
close
buddy of
by.
mine. If anyone's wondering, yes, he's the one that got me arrested with a misdemeanor for not using his turn signal. But still cool with him. He was like we joke around about it with no hard feelings. But we were in the store. He was picking up Mountain Dews. He's got this weird addiction to Mountain Dews. Like he can't drink water; it makes him sick. All because he drank Mountain Dews. I don't know, 90 plus years, and he's only 21.
Holy shit.
But we're in a store, and this colored man walks in
Package
camo,
located.
in full
Secure her and
ACUs,
prep for exfil.
wearing tennis shoes. Now, me coming from a military family, I know about stolen valor, and sometimes it's abused, other times it's pretty freaking obvious that they didn't serve and they're wanting that military discount or whatever they can get for just being a hit. But he walked in the store, and I looked over at him. I said, "Oh, were you in the Army?" He goes, "Yeah, retired some bullshit unit that doesn't even exist." I think he was like, what was it? It was like 64th Tank Regiment or some shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know if that's one, but I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. But don't want to start a fight, so I'm not going to call it. So I was like, okay. I asked him. I brought this on myself. So sitting there talking with him and everything, he looks at me after the conversation was over. He looks at me and goes, "Why are you carrying a gun?" said because to protect me, those around me, and anyone else that I care about, or just random people from any form of violence that could pop up. He goes, "Oh, so you telling me you're gonna shoot me?" No, I'm not gonna shoot you. But I made it very clear that if he was to pull a gun and try to rob somewhere to pull a gun on me, then I'm going to kill him. He had already pissed me off. But I'm not going to kill him all because he's trying to be a douchebag. I'm not going to attack him and be an assailant. But if he were to pull a gun, I would pull one back. But mine would not be first. It would be a retaliation. He goes, "Is it because I'm black you think I'm going to pull a gun?" I said, "No, that's not the issue. The issue again is if the situation arrives where I need to defend myself and those around me, I'm going to do as best I can to protect them. Because everyone here has a family to go home. I got a family to go home to. Does that mean nothing? No, it does not mean anything. But you're also not trying to rob or cause physical harm to anybody, so there's no need for me to do anything about it." And eventually, push came to shove, the store owner told him to leave, and he's like, "I appreciate you handling it the way you did. You could have been much more of an asshole, but next time, can you just try to ignore him because he's a regular?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And that's a story that should have come up during the gun talks, but I figured that would be a thing, because it ties into racism and shit like that. It's something else I feel like this country is trying to throw onto everybody just to add more bullshit. Racism, yes. No, it's not dead. Yes, it is a problem. But it's not as big a problem as everyone thinks. Like, white on black crime, it's not... It's a big thing, yes, but it's not super big. Like, white cops aren't running around shooting black kids for no reason.
Yeah, no, it's not like people got like fucking slave trades in the basements and shit. Like,
right. Well, now I don't know. Now I've been on the dark web. I've seen some shit.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some pretty rough shit.
Shit. When they started doing communities for like a couple days or maybe like a day, it was an ISIS community. I'm dead ass. Like, they posted pictures of them, like, decapitating people and putting them on their fence and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, smiling. It was fucked for, like, a minute.
But now, at the same time, I went on there just because everyone always told me, "You're going to see some shit on there that'll change your life," and me being retarded situations that I've been in. I was just like, I can't see anything worse than what I have seen. No. I assure you, if you're thinking about going on the dark web, don't do it. And if you don't know what the dark web is, then lucky you. Like, you just don't fucking know.
that shit's like that.
And since I'm faster than both of you, I'll grab the doctor. Because I'm too speedy. I'm not trying to say you're fat. What I am saying is,
I need to go to my safe space now.
Yeah, go to your safe space. Anyone care to join him? Doc, you want to join him? Where is your safe space? Take us to your safe space.
I don't know, dog. Is this couch?
Is this couch? That's your safe space? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do what people need to start doing. I'm going to join you in your safe space, and we're going to talk about dietary needs. Like, I'm going to ruin your safe space just so you'll realize that being a man is much better than being a pussy.
I'm over here.
Right?
Alright.
I feel like there's also a certain age
Yeah.
where if you call force control for eating Tide Pods, they should hang up the phone. I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I'm dead ass. They should just hang up the phone. If you're 14 and you ate a Tide Pod, they should hang up the phone. If you're 14, you know better.
Oh yeah, it's just a waste
do not
of
eat.
everyone's time and money.
Keep them away from the dock.
Yeah, I think they should just let the fucking, if you're dumb enough to eat fucking Tide Pods, then
They should hang up the phone.
You're slowing
Where are
down
we going,
evolution and you're using up our natural resources, so what the fuck? We don't need them.
Like, natural selection obviously selected wrong in their case.
Yeah.
Natural selection has been taken out of the equation. What do you think?
You're not wrong.
Like the one species
gotta
that
put
doesn't
it
have
back.
that shit anymore.
You gotta throw that shit back in, man. Start setting up bear traps all around, like, fucking cities and shit.
Jesus.
Just randomly.
Right?
And just, like, if people are dumb enough to walk into them, then, I mean, like, that's it. That's their problem. Make it illegal for you to bust them out of them, so they gotta sit there, bleed out. I mean, like, not only would our population go down, so you know, less starving kids and shit. There'd be more money to go around, less natural resources being used up. Global warming would go down.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, overall, man. And then evolution would go a little bit faster, so we wouldn't have all these fucking retards eating Tide Pods running around reproducing.
Now, I would also like to point out, that's kind of a discrimination against poor Frost.
Well, like, obviously I'm not serious. Like, we shouldn't. Obviously, we're not going to set up bear traps. But I mean, like, it is to the point now where people are like, it's just, oh my god, some people are just, it's just so stupid.
It's just too much. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's like, either I'm just gonna kill myself soon.
Now, at the, I really don't know where to stand on this one because, yeah, if you don't know these Tide Pods, you're fucking retarded in the first place. But at the same time,
Medkit here.
I don't know.
Well, alright, let me put it like this. If you're like there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're, picture a house, eating Tide Pods, you know? Like, you are fully aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should just hang up the phone.
Yeah. Now, if it was
Maybe
like
if
a
you have like
child,
some kind of like mental disability and you ate it, like, no. They should
now if it was like a 5-year-old child or like someone that really doesn't know any better, then yeah, by all means, give assistance, please, for the love of God. But
there just has to be a certain age where it's like you should have known better.
Yeah, there needs to be like an age limit. It's like, yeah, I'm 19 and ate this Tide Pod. Yeah, well, good for you. Hope you have life insurance.
Right?
But like if it's a 5-year-old and they were smart enough to call because they ate a Tide Pod, then please, for the love of God, tell them what they need to do to protect their life. But yeah, if it's something if it's someone being fucking retarded, then yeah, just let them go. But if it's like if it's a child, then yeah, by all means, please don't. Like I have a niece. She's I believe she's 5 or 6.
Oh my god.
And oh Jesus, I'm at 5 health. And I would do anything, but I would also keep the Tide Pod way the hell up.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you know there's actually a petition now that's trying to get them to change the design of Tide Pods because they look too
shouldn't
too
have
delicious.
to change the design.
Oh yeah, because they look too much
I've
like
seen
candy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw Tide Pods, I was like, "Damn, that shit does look like a fucking gusher or something."
Right? It
makes
things
Bleach
like
looks like water. Are we gonna change the color of bleach?
Well, now
I mean, like,
no one take this serious.
I kind of wanted to bite into one to see what it would be like. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what that would feel in my mouth." But I didn't fucking do it because I'm not an idiot. I'm like, yeah, you know, it kind of looks like fucking like gushers or something, but I'm not gonna eat the shit because obviously it's labeled as detergent.
Doc, stop
like
fist fighting the damn giant.
Like it's got like cotton candy, like fucking symbols all over it and shit, and like this, and they're putting it in the candy aisle, like they're putting it in with all the detergents and shit. It clearly says detergent.
Yeah.
Like, it's what they did in Canada. They made menthol cigarettes and any kind of flavored tobacco illegal because apparently it was pandering to kids. I'm like, what? I'm like, you go into any high school in Canada and any kids that are smoking are not smoking menthols and flavored cigarettes. Most of them are smoking regulars.
Yeah, why are we having such a hard
kids
time
aren't
right
starting smoking because they're like, ooh, mint cigarettes? That sounds good. It's like, no, that's not why they started smoking. They're like, oh, grape flavored cigars? Oh, that's good. I want to try that. I'm going to give myself cancer now.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Like, if it's something like that, people are like, it tastes good, so it must be good, and that's not the situation.
Right. Well, the fact is, too, though, you still have to be 18 years of age to buy tobacco in Canada. So, I mean, like, even if you want to say that the flavors are encouraging kids to smoke, they still can't legally buy it anyway, so...
Yeah.
But you've also got these adults that don't care, and they'll go out and buy it for them, and just create all kinds of problems.
Well, I mean, if it's your kid, that's kind of your decision.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it any less wrong.
I know. But it's kind of like with drinking. Like, if you want to give your kid a beer, you can.
We'll be out of here in no time.
I can't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, I had my first alcoholic beverage at like 12.
Exactly.
But that was that wasn't my parents doing. That was me going into the fridge and sneaking it away from them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was them. I think it was my granddad.
It was somebody.
It was somebody. The fact of the matter is, it was done.
Somebody. Yeah.
But I can't say anything. I can't say much on the tobacco things. I started it at an early age as well. But here in the U.S., we've got a bunch of different flavors we can use and do and stuff like that. And I personally, I'd just rather stick with my cigars. Like Thompson cigar has been my savior, and chewing tobacco, and occasionally dip. Like, I don't. When it comes down to like the things that are common in the South, I can't really say anything because I've done it.
All right.
But at the same time,
secure
I
that
don't
research.
encourage
Then get
people.
Dr. McIntosh to the exfil point.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I started smoking at 14 years.
Stay close.
Right.
Old.
The voice
I started
recognition
smoking,
in this place can
and
be a
I
little
regret it, kind of. I mean, like, I still enjoy smoking, but I definitely regret starting at that young of an age. It's not healthy. But
Wait, what are we smoking?
what got me started smoking was not because I heard about flavored cigars and menthols. It was because I was curious of what it was and why it was like. Because I have people in my family that have been smoking for years, and I was like, oh, I wonder why they've been smoking for so long. What is it like? What is it about cigarettes that keeps people on it? And why do people even do it in the first place, knowing all these health risks? And now I know why. 'Cause it's fucking addicting.
Yeah.
But
Which now-
when I was a
It's that
stupid
first
kid.
cigarette of the day.
But
That's what it is.
Dead serious? I
Yeah.
can't even lie.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. It's that first.
That
fucking
first cigarette of
the
the day is the best one.
We have to run.
yeah.
Over there.
But yeah, it's not flavored anything that got me into it. It's not like some guy was smoking at the smoke pit, and he's just like smoking some fucking cherry flavored cigars, and that I was like, oh wow, this tastes so good, it's so worth the cancer. I'm gonna start smoking now. It was like no. It was my own
doesn't kill you,
things.
makes you
Like
stronger.
even if they had, I didn't even know about menthols until I was like 17. So I had already been smoking for like 3 years at that point.
Ellen.
We have to go. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'm moving.
Yeah, see, it was a little bit different for me. Like, my parents smoked, and for a while, I couldn't stand it. It choked me. Like, it was like fucking Lou Ferrigno put me in a sleeper hold. But as I got older, I kind of got used to the smoke, and now it's like, well, let's not do that now. Maybe trying it just to have the experience of it. And it was just all downhill from there.
See what it's like.
Yeah, like, it was all downhill.
Yeah, like I've had kids like walk up to me like, yo, can I bum a smoke off you? No. Yo, can I get a dart? No. No. It's a no every time. It's like, yeah, I've been there at that age asking people for smokes and shit. And I'm like, I wish I had everybody, if everyone had told me no, I probably would have just quit smoking. Because like, even though you think you're addicted when you first start, you're not really that addicted. Like you want it, but you're not really that hooked. And then like as you get older, you're like, wow, like well, I just tried to quit like a year ago, and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot different. I used to go like 3 days without a smoke, I'd be fine. And I'd just be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a dart. Now it's like I go like 3 hours without a smoke, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
I feel you up there. I don't know, I come off it. Shit, brooder. That's the way I am whenever I try to quit those. But now, it's weird because as far as drinking, I'm not addicted. I can stop. I've stopped several times, and now I'm just a casual drink. But at the same time, smoking, I can quit it like overnight. I don't get it. Like, I understand that there's a problem with it being addicted. I get that completely.
Come with me.
But I personally don't understand the addiction side of it because I'm just not addicted to it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've had a few friends that are like that. They just pick it up and drop it like it's nothing. I kind of envy them.
Never got
I'm like,
into it.
holy shit.
Swapping mags.
Yeah, but I kind of feel bad for the people that do form an addiction around it because I get how hard that can be after watching my parents struggle trying to quit. But at the same time, I feel like that's sometimes what gets them through, knowing there's something left that they enjoy, that the kids aren't a full leash on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This way.
drinking was never my thing, but I do like weed. Weed's fun.
God damn it. There's always that one. Remember, kids, there's always going to be that one.
What'd I do? Better for you.
Can't argue with that. But
I lost interest in weed a while ago.
Like, I've never
Yeah, a lot of
smoked
people
it.
do.
I've never smoked it, but just from like doing the research, yeah, it isn't good. It doesn't hurt you as much.
I mean, it's still not good for you, but like, hey.
It's not one of those
I mean,
things
that
you're
makes
gonna
nothing
die.
somehow.
Nothing
instantly.
enjoyable in life is good for you, really.
Yeah, I make it through the day somehow.
Now, we're also kids. We're also not condoning going out and smoking.
Hey, I'm not
No,
saying that.
obviously
I mean,
not.
If you do, hey.
I mean, we
I mean,
can't.
like,
We
If you're
can't
of
stop you
age
from
and it's
making
legal
decisions.
where you live, I mean, why the fuck not?
Ready to
Yeah.
go. Medkit here.
Like, we can't stop you from making your decisions, but we're not exactly
Ammunition's
condoning
full. Take
following
some
our
max.
habits.
Oh yeah, hell no.
Ready when you are. Stay
Oh
with me.
no.
Just be smart, kids. Be smart.
Macintosh, Ellen. Come on, come on.
Remember, boys, don't be fools. Wrap your tools.
You do you. You do whatever you want to do.
Wrap it in latex and forget your paychecks.
He's not wrong, kids. Take the same advice. We know everything.
Stay close to me.
Well, I mean, like, she won't get your paychecks. Really, I mean, like, all you have to do is, like, claim disability because you're depressed or something, and then just go on welfare the rest of your life.
Yeah, tell him it
Pay child
violated
support.
your safe space.
Yeah. It's basically what he's saying is like, tell them you need a safe space.
That's why they want safe spaces, because people want to get out of taxes and child support. I understand it now.
Yo, wait a
That's the
minute, guys,
reason.
come look at
Can I
this.
claim that on my taxes? I don't like paying, so I don't have to.
Paying taxes gives me anxiety, so I can't do that.
I would like to point out the guy in this room right here that I just put on ping. He is a fucking legend. Like you know he's from the South. Because he died holding his beer and didn't spill a single drop. Like, do you see this?
No. Oh, I didn't even notice
Oh
that.
shit.
He is. That's the true MVP. Remember, kids, if you want to be alcoholic, be this guy.
He knocked his beer out of his hand, man. He's gonna come back
Yeah.
and beat your heads.
That's laugh my ass off doing to the zombie just whoops the shit out of you.
We have to run.
Grab that jet injector for me. I'll need it to build a prototype vaccine. Great.
That was a fucking gun.
I didn't. It was. Eliminate the room. It's like a dart gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's
There's
cranking?
someone violating my safe space. Like, one of these zombies assumed
So,
my gender and
I don't
now-
know, use your words. Tell them how it makes you feel.
Stay close.
Mr. Zombie, please stop stabbing me. I've done nothing to you, and I do not have intentions of doing any harm to you, so please just don't hurt me. I'll sit in the corner and I'll leave you alone. I'll let you do your thing. Like, you're probably gonna kill one of them, but that's okay, because, you know, I'm not gonna stop you.
There's a, charger? Something? Whatever you want to call it.
What's it look like?
Kinda like that.
That's a smash.
Oh shit.
I'll keep the doc on me so he can't put it down. And I'll try to hit
Oh,
him
well,
with the
at least they were
Loading new
high enough to make him duck through the door. That's cool. That's a nice touch.
It's that realistic thing, man.
Yeah, look, he actually ducks when he goes through the door.
Yeah, he turns sideways in smaller doors.
Oh, shit. God, he's whooping my ass.
How I'm stabbing him.
Do you charge at one of us?
Yeah, I
There we
have-
go.
I have a feeling they're gonna, after the trial of this, if enough people like it and play it, they're definitely gonna resell it to us as like a DLC or something.
I thought they're gonna
Hopefully.
do like they do with the DLC already, just kind of leave it open to
Did
us.
you take that last med kit that was in there?
I didn't.
Reload.
Oh, it's still
Oh, wait, no, it's still in there. I like disappeared for a second. I got worried.
Going frag.
I do like how all the
Charge it
zombies,
to
like how they kept the fact that everything like is breakable and still have zombies breaking through walls and shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, Damo.
Now let's get the hell out of here. I have work to do.
Make a run
Checking
for
that.
it.
Helo's
But
inbound.
yeah, I like the realistic touches that they put in the game. Like, kudos
I'm
to these
over
guys.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, Ash's hitbox is still broken, but kudos.
She has an adamantium shirt and hat, and clothing. That's real, right?
I'm sure it is somewhere,
with me.
just not here. But yeah, I feel like, hang on, I check this channel. Alright guys, it has come to the time for us to close the stream out. It's been close to, if not an entire hour or more. Appreciate everyone for watching and for any comments you leave. I'm always checking comment sections. I'm always trying to interact with the fan base. What few fans there are, hopefully will grow before much longer. Again, heads up, I will be going on a hiatus before too long. I'll be gone for approximately 6 months, and I'll start the streams back up eventually once I get back. But that's still a month and a half out. Appreciate all of the subscriptions we've got, and all the support. And as always, you guys stay safe, have fun, and troll-a-lol. Alright guys, later.